Hello, I'm Matt Gull from House.com. This is the owner of Weston Snowboards. This is Leo. How you doing? Welcome.
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And he's going to walk us through a very unique board to the Weston lineup called the Pow Surfer. The Pow Surfer. It's part of the Pow category. It's meant for really deep snow. You can't mount bindings onto it.
Nope. You can still bring it on. You can't bring it on resort though. You still need to have a leash. We have a eye bolt to be able to mount down a leash. So yeah,
you can take it there.
It's important to do too, so the board doesn't run away on you.
Yeah, be a long and terrible walk down wherever. Right?
Exactly.
So the Pow Surfer. This is a category that has kind of exploded within snowboarding recently. Basically, a pow board with a foam style pad.
Yep.
What is your guys' take on the board?
So our approach is to apply more traditional snowboard manufacturing when it comes to the layering, with the base, the core, the top sheet, the fiberglass. There's a lot of pow surfers out there that are either in some sort of molded plastic or 5-ply maple, which is a skateboard construction to give it that more 3D shape. But what we were finding was just, the ride of it is, a lot of it is designed into more the pad, how the feet engage and the ability to move your foot as you're making those turns. This has been, for me, it's been great because when I link like 3 turns on a Pow Surfer, I am the king of the hill. I am so awesome. It's actually, it takes me back a little bit to, the beginnings, and that's, when snowboarding first started, it was bindingless, the snurfer with the lifting up. Yeah. So it is pretty cool to be able to kind of return back to those roots, and this will make your like neighborhood hill fun again, right? Yeah. So maybe you just brought your kids up just so they can sled down. You just bring your Pow Surfer along, and all of a sudden you have 2 birds with 1 stone.
That's right.
Yeah.
So this has, like you said, a traditional style construction. So wood core, fiberglass, sintered base. Is that right?
Yep.
Wow. And then it looks like you have some kind of a top sheet, a wood style top sheet.
Yep.
What's the top sheet?
It is a lacquered veneer.
Okay. Yep. Thin sliced.
Yep, exactly. Very unique. Everything is all the veneers are one of a kind. So
But there's no steel edges because there doesn't need to be.
Exactly.
Okay. Cool. And then the overall shaping to it looks like there's quite a bit of taper, deep swallowtail.
Yep, very wide. Again with pow surfing, there's a lot of movement on the pad. I think really where we spent a lot of design into was the pad itself. Okay. And making sure that it had some, the center channel to be able to shed snow, having little ramps on the sides, because that's where when you're making those turns, that's where you're putting the amount of pressure down. Wow. Same with setting it on the back and as well as the front. So yeah, it's and the pad, it's a little bit hard. It has that kind of texture to be able to to have that, to have the grip as you are going about moving the foot around the pad. So.
Wow, I like that the center channel to get the snow off of, instead of just having like a full kind of like ridge or along the side of the pad. There's actually a lower section in the middle of it.
Yeah, cool. Exactly. Yeah, because the snow's got to clear out somewhere. So
right. Now, is this a board that you take in like an inch of snow or just like 4 feet?
Usually it's on the deeper end.
Okay.
Yeah. Usually to get that good control, you're probably looking at like 4 inches plus. Optimally, you're in like a foot of snow. But and fairly, it's fairly interesting. You can start off on lower angle, but once you do start to get into a little bit steeper, it's actually a lot easier to turn
in steeper terrain.
Cool. It's steep and deep.
Right.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about that, about people's abilities while they're snowboarding is that there's like this really unique spot in speed where a beginner goes from barely skidding turns to really engaging a turn.
Yeah.
And there's got to be a speed factor with a pow surfer and the grade of the hill too.
Yeah.
Like where you can do it, but once you get to a certain angle at a certain speed, it just really comes together.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Cool. Now, what piece of advice would you have for people who buy the Pow Surfer? You said if you can link 3 turns together, that makes you feel good. What advice would you have for them to have a successful time, like linking turns and riding this board?
Yeah. I mean, a great place to start it out is just your local sledding hill. When it just dumps and you have, a foot of snow on the ground, just, strap up a leash to it. So again, strap up a leash so it doesn't run away on you. And just, try it out. I think a lot of where people start to really understand pow surfing is that it's not like snowboarding where you're really trying to go from edge to edge. It's really when you start to understand how to balance the board and to just kind of shift the board around. In a very much sense like a surfing kind of style, because your feet are not attached to the board. And how, so thinking about how to move that around with pressuring, putting more pressure onto the rails, of the rails of the pads. And then trying to consider, I'm just lifting up my feet.
Right. Now, here's a little bit more in-depth question with additional equipment that you ride with this, your boots.
Yep.
Do you tend to ride or prefer to ride boots that are stiffer or softer, and do you keep them loose or tight when you ride the Pow Surfer?
A lot of people really enjoy pow surfing on Sorels.
That's what I've heard.
A very soft boot that really allows you to feel, and really allows you to move around. Because when you have sometimes like a thicker or stiffer boot, it's hard to feel the difference between okay, I'm applying pressure, to this point versus that point, which it could be the difference between you making that turn and just washing out.
Bailing.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Cool. Well, Leo, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, and thank you for watching. If you're down for this thing, make sure to check out the links below in the description. Leave a comment or question. Let us know what you think of the Pow Surfer from Weston. Hopefully, we'll see you guys on snow. Peace.